just so you guys know, I'm not motivational at all, right? I tell my coaching clients, I say, if you need accountability, I'm not the guy, right? I'm not going to do personal development. I'm not going to try and motivate anyone. If you're not motivated to sell homes and do a great job, well, I'm not the right guy for you, right? That's someone else. There's some really good motivational people out there. That ain't me, okay? I am really very much into strategy, and that's always been my thing, is what does it take to be able to produce the maximum amount of results in the most efficient way? And my number one, the person and the people that I focus on is your customers. So I'm really big on what is going on with them, and then what are you guys doing? What are you saying? And is that connecting or is it disconnecting? So you're gonna see when you jump into that document, you're gonna see a lot of stuff, okay? So today, I wanna cover basically a couple foundational components. Number one, we're gonna talk about how are you increasing new business, referrals, recommendations from your past clients, your center of influence. I just call it your community. Some people call it a database. That seems a little impersonal to me. I don't know. I don't really call my friends a database. I call them my friends, some of my past clients, some of them I would invite them over to my house on Sunday. A lot of them I wouldn't. But I still want more business from them in terms of recommendations, referrals, reviews. So let's cover what I'm highly recommending now with that topic. I'm only going to share with you guys the stuff that I don't hear out in the industry. So I'm never going to cover anything that you have already heard, from 10 other trainers, other coaches, other mentors. There's no point in us spending any time on that. Number two, I'm going to talk about the one thing that I didn't know was a great opportunity for the first probably 12 years of my career. I had no idea that focusing on dominating a geographic territory was a good idea. I actually, for many years of my career, I thought this was a really stupid idea. And then I realized, oh my gosh, this is actually an extraordinary concept. And all of us need to focus on this, get that dialed in. So we're going to talk about that today. Then number three, where I'm spending most of my time, which is it's really kind of what are we doing online to not only build our brand, build our presence, but I'm not big on building a brand. I'm into lead generation and results. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about how are we creating new clients and new opportunities in the online space. And I'm not going to talk about the stupid stuff around, social and this, that, and the other, lame things. I'm going to talk to you guys high level. If you were working with me as I was your digital marketing agency, that's how I'm going to speak to you, right? Because to me, none of us need to do anything more online unless it creates a new opportunity, a new client, right? We're wasting way too much time on kind of building our brand and staying top of mind and, trying to be cute and clever. I'm not into that. I'm into creating clients who then rave about me and then refer me and recommend me and who are loyal to me, right? Can we do all of that online? What's the answer? That's what we're going to talk about, okay? So now I'm not going to address the basics, right? Everybody, the basics. We got to go back to the basics. The market is really down. We got to go back to the basics. What are you talking about, right? Basics would be things like what I refer to as direct to consumer, okay? Direct to consumer to me is I go to an open house and I meet 10 people and one of them decides to work with me or at least meet with me that week. That's direct to consumer. Direct to consumer is really I get on the phone and I make a phone call to someone I do or don't know and I try and create an opportunity and try and create an appointment. That's direct to consumer, right? I'm not going to cover those things because every coach has already covered those things ad nauseum. Yes? So you don't need me to tell you about all those things. Now, do I have some really cool secret tricks and hacks? And absolutely, yes. Right? Me and Rod Moser and David Lawson, this is why these guys like me, is because I've got a lot of cool little unique little things that'll get you an appointment and that's fun, okay? But that's not what we're going to do today, right? We'll save that for another day. And then David, of course, is going to cover, really the foundation of how to get 100 listings. So, and I know that's what all of you guys want, of course. Yes? I want to get 100 listings. How do I become the top listing agent? Right? So he's the master of that. So we don't need to spend time there. Right? So let's dive in. So if you guys, I'll just take a quick look at my notes. I'm going to look at the exact document that I have for you guys on that QR code, and I'm just going to use that as some prompts for myself, just to make sure that I'm kind of following along clearly. Okay, so let's talk. Well, let's address the market for just a hot second, right? So, as most of you guys know or don't know, I'm working with about 70 coaching clients right now across the United States. I have anywhere from the guy that made $3 million in gross commissions to, I work with a couple people that are kind of newer to the business or younger, and they have to really convince me to work with them, and I'll do that, right, if they're really good. But that's, and they're from every single marketplace across the United States and Canada. So, I get to see it all, you guys, right? And then I also sell homes in San Diego with my wife. And when I was working with my wife and her father-in-law, of course, I'm a Ferry. I married a realtor. That's just what you do, right? You know what I mean? I'm around them all the damn time. It's like, what? So anyway, I've sold a bunch of houses in
crazy people.
Yeah.
Very crazy people.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because we're all crazy people.
Yeah, so I'm around a lot of opportunities, and so, anyways, when this last year started coming around, actually, I'll take one more step back. In 2005, I got introduced to I was at some event in San Diego, and this guy hands me, he was a coach at that time, and he shows me this binder, and the binder in 2005, the cover said, "The California Crash." And I was like, what is that? Right? And I'm like, because in 2005, what was happening in San Diego with all of us real estate agents? It was a party. It was like Rolls Royces and Ferraris, and every girl had, Gucci and Dior. And it was just, the lenders could, literally, buy us anything we wanted, and title companies could give us all kinds of cash. It was really fun, right? It was a lot of fun. All that stuff got shut down, by the way, right? So, but anyway, so I'm looking at this binder that says the California Crash, and this was my introduction to the world of real estate economics. And I went, oh, this is it. I didn't know that this was important, because I just thought this was about selling homes, making money, and having a good time. And then it was every reason why he was projecting that California would have a 50% decline in their median sales price. Now, did that happen? What's the answer? Yeah. And so I got a front row seat from a forecast that said, here's every reason why it's going to happen. And then I watched it all happen, right, all the way down. So that kind of got me interested in this thing called real estate economics, okay? So that's a little backstory to say, in 2022, right, in 2022, when the Fed made the decision to raise the rates, and in my mind, I was like, this is a year too late. And then, of course, it went aggressive to try and combat inflation. Then I was like, oh, the party is now over, right? The party just got stopped. Because as far as I could tell, in 2021, that was just a raging party, right? There was a lot of houses that sold, and there was 1 million people that got into the real estate business. Commissions went through the roof. I don't know about you guys, but is there any other industry in the world that you get a 33% raise per paycheck within a 1-year period? I don't know, that was pretty cool. I was like, whoa, look at that. I got a 33% raise in 12 months. And then, oh, by the way, the 12 months before that, I got a 20% raise per paycheck. And then a 33%. Oh, I was like, this is amazing. So
we're doing nothing more than we ever did.
It was a great party, right? Let's just call it what it was, even though it was an absolute pain in the butt for most of us, right? Because if you worked with a buyer and inventory was so constrained, it was really competitive. So it was a pain in the butt. But anyway, so that rug got pulled out from under us. So here we are in 2022. All I basically said going into 2023 with all my coaching clients is one thing. I said, we are going to have to generate twice as many buyer and seller opportunities to make the same amount of money. Right? Is that a safe thing to say today? What do you guys think? Twice as many opportunities to make the same amount of money. And we've seen total decline in the total number of sales, and that is pretty natural coming off the peak number of sales. So that's just the reality that we're dealing with. So I have two missions with you today. Number one is I want to make sure that your lead gen and your marketing systems are really dialed in. And most of my coaching clients, the ones that are doing well right now, it's because they had really good lead gen and marketing systems that were effective going into this environment. All the ones that are struggling right now, it was because they didn't have good lead gen and marketing, period, right? And so the market goes down, opportunities go down, buyers go down, listings get constricted, and all of a sudden you're like, well, where's my business? My phone's not ringing. That is the one phrase that I can't stand that phrase. My phone's not ringing, Patrick. Well, what are you doing to make it ring? Right? Like, because let's talk about that. Well, my phone's not ringing. Yeah, no kidding, right? How about let's get it to ring, okay? So I just want you guys to know we need to double the amount of lead gen and marketing right now, and that means you will still not even sell that many homes, but that's what we have to do. Now, in every...
Can I interject something?
Yeah, but let me make one more point before. In every down market cycle, the goal is to dramatically increase your skills, your systems, your effectiveness in lead gen and marketing so that when it turns what? Up, that's when you make a fortune. So in every down cycle, yeah, it's the hustle, it's the grind, it's the pain in the butt. But this is the time to get it together so that on the next cycle, you take advantage. Because when I was sitting in a room with 10 top agents at the Tom Ferry office, I'm a Tom Ferry coach, by the way. My brother Tom is awesome. I totally adore him. So it's really fun working with him, right? He's just a cool guy. And, he's slightly successful as a coach, right? So anyways, I'm in a meeting with Tom, and it was like 2021, the beginning of the year. And he basically looked to all of us in the room and he said, you guys are completely blowing it right now. And we were all like, what are you talking about? Coach motivational moment. And he said, this is the greatest financial run I've ever seen in my 30 years as a real estate coach and trainer. This is the greatest financial opportunity that's ever existed. And you guys are sitting there on your beep, just going, how can I get another listing? And that really left an impression on me because I was like, you know what? He's right. I'm being a pansy. And I'm missing probably one of the greatest financial opportunities that has ever existed in real estate. And I'm totally just sitting on my hands going, oh. And then, of course, the cycle turns. And so now it's, okay, whoops. I need to get back to work and stop being a wimp. You guys follow me? That was one of the greatest financial opportunities that's ever existed in real estate. And it started in 2012 for most of us. And it went straight all the way through to 2019. 2019, there was lots of threats to the economic recession. And then, of course, COVID. And then what happened to real estate? One of the greatest runs in the history of real estate. So I hope a lot of you guys made a fortune. And then now let's get back to work. You guys follow me? Okay, cool. Let's talk about, anyways, that was a long story to get to where we need to go. But David, anything to add on to that? And then I'll look at my notes and then let's get rocking.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is I'm going to predict, well, I don't know if you know this, but 9 out of the 10 real estate companies, the top 10 companies, lost agents last year. Last year was still pretty good. They're predicting so many agents getting out of the market. Now, that's not going to be me. I don't want it to be anyone in this room. You're here for a reason. In 2008, 9, 10, 11, did you go to the class I had, How to Increase Your Market Share in a Declining Market, when I toured that?
I think I did.
Yeah, I thought you were there. So what you have to understand is, you know what? You want the good news or the bad news? Who? Somebody. Well, what do you want first? Bad news? It's gonna be freaking hard. You know what the good news is? The people that understand what he just said are gonna be the ones that win. I predict 10% or less of us are gonna make way more money in the next few years, and 50% of the people are gonna make way, way less. And you know what's gonna happen to the other 40%? They're either out of business or they're not doing anything or they still have a real estate license and they're actually out of business, just no one's told them yet, right? And so I'm going to be doing a coaching session, and because I wrote it 15 years ago, and how to increase your market share in a declining market. And so it's so important to understand that. So anyway.
Cool. All right, let's jump in. Guys, I'm going to cover past client center of influence. How do we increase? Here's what I want. Do I want referrals? Yes, but can I give you guys some new language? I want recommendations. Hey, Rod, you should talk to David. He's an awesome agent. I want a recommendation. Do you guys want recommendations? Yeah, I want more recommendations. The other thing that I want also is I want introductions to opportunities. Introductions to opportunities. Rod is a past client that lives in a neighborhood. And then Rod says, Patrick, one of my neighbors is thinking about selling. You should talk to him. That's an introduction to an opportunity. Do you guys want more recommendations and more introductions to opportunities? What's the answer? Yeah, the word referral is like a weird industry term that really I don't think makes a lot of sense to most people. Like if I asked like 20 of my friends and said, hey, could you get me a referral? They'd be like, to a dentist? Do you know what I mean? Like it's not language that actually really connects with the customer. Again, remember, who do I pay attention to? I pay attention to them, and then I come back to us and go, what the heck are we talking about, right? Did you guys know that the term listing and list doesn't actually mean anything to the average homeowner? Did you guys realize that? What is the word list anyways? It was a term for the industry called the multiple listing service. But what does the average homeowner think? I'm going to put my home on the market. I'm going to put my home on the market. Do you guys get like the word, hey, can I come over and do a listing presentation for you? They're like, a what? What the heck is that? Hey, can I come over and share with you a little bit about how I can help you put your home on the market, maximize your return on investment, help you reduce stress, help make it an easy process for you, help you plan and prepare everything. Would you like to get together and talk a little bit about what I do to make my clients have an amazing experience when they put their home on the market and when they close, and kind of help them through that whole process? Would you guys like to talk about that? Yeah. But can I come over and list your home? What is that? What is that, right? So please just be aware that this is weird stuff that we deal with, and I will help you guys clean some of that crap up. Okay, so number one, when you guys go to that document that I have, there's a hyperlink to what my past client VIP plan, and that is, by the way, a 6-page document, 6 pages. And one of the things that I want you guys all to create in there, and I'll show you 2 examples of it on that document, which is when a buyer buys a home with you and you want to welcome them to your real estate family at that point. And I want to help you guys construct, what does that mean? What is their expectation from that point forward? And then after you set an expectation, i.e. your marketing, event, and communication plan, they're going to go, wow, this is amazing, thank you. And then you're going to do what I refer to as the permission script. Hey, Rod, by the way, can I ask a huge favor? And they're at that moment, because they just bought a home, and I just shared with them all of the awesome things I'm about to do with them moving forward. Then I go, hey, do you mind if I occasionally reach out to you to see if you know anyone thinking about buying, selling, or investing? Is that okay? I'm just going to ask for what, everybody? Permission. Just ask for permission. And so if we do that, it takes all of that awkwardness. By the way, I sold a lot of buyers, and it was totally weird. It reminded me of the days when I lived in Las Vegas. These were called one-night stands in Las Vegas. And I was like, this is so awkward. I don't know what to do with these great past clients of mine who bought a home, and I don't know, what do I do with these people? And then I finally just constructed, hey, here's what to expect now moving forward. Here's the things that I will do for you. Here's what you can expect from me. And then here's the reasons why you should be calling me. And here's the reasons why I'm going to call you. And then, hey, by the way, can I ask for permission? Can we all do that, please, everyone? Yes, we can dramatically increase the referrals. Now, what's the most important one permission script that we've all needed since the inventory has gone straight down? What's the number one complaint I get with all my clients regarding their buyers right now? There's nothing to sell them. There's no inventory. So one of the videos that I did on my YouTube channel was I said, hey, if you get an offer accepted, there's 6 things that we can do immediately to go find the next seller for your buyer. And I was like, there's 6 simple things. And I go, so what should you guys do? And everyone's like, I should go door knocking. I'm like, that sounds horrible. Why would you do that? That sounds terrible. I'll make some cold calls. Oh my gosh, right? Do you like self-torture? Right? How about you just wrote an offer on a property in a neighborhood. Let me ask you a question. Do you know anyone that lives in the neighborhood? Do you know a realtor that lives in it? By the way, I called a realtor who was a dominant player in a neighborhood. I had a buyer and I said, hey, by the way, do you have anything coming up? And she said, yes. And I put together a deal for 1-2. That was great. But for every offer and every buyer, are you guys doing that? What about any of your past clients? I drove into a community one time to show a property 20 minutes from my house. And I had this great buyer, they were ready to go. I drove into the community, took me 20 minutes to get there. I have 5 friends who live in that neighborhood, and I have 6 past clients. And then I showed one property and then drove home. Why didn't I just, hey friends, by the way, I got this people, they kind of want to buy, and do you know anyone? Have you heard any rumors? You guys follow me? So do we need to get permission from all of our past clients and our center of influence to say, hey, in this low inventory environment, which is getting worse, not better, I've got great buyers who want to buy. May I occasionally reach out to you just to see if you know anyone or if you've heard any rumors of anyone in the neighborhood thinking of selling if I have this buyer. Do we need that permission, everybody? What do you guys think? Yeah. Or let's just do some more cold calls. You guys, more cold calls? Yeah? Okay, cool. Let's go. Next. So we need to build our VIP plan. Number 2. Okay, how many of you guys have heard about this kind of CMA a day program? Everybody's talking about this CMA a day. Anyone? How many of you guys heard about this? Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, so what I realized was, and this was actually back in the prospecting school days when I was with a bunch of you guys that used to come to Vegas with me and spend time. I realized, oh my gosh, homeowners are very interested in the value of their home. This is shocking news. And then I realized, wait a minute, we real estate agents, what do we do in terms of the service to our friends, to our neighbors, to our past clients who bought with us? What do we give them? Well, nothing. Well, Rod, you're supposed to call all your past clients 4 times a year, right? And you're supposed to ask for referrals. How about we talk to them a little bit about the value of their home at least 1 time a year? What do you guys think? So could you guys at least commit 1 time a year, everybody who buys a home with you, that you would do on the purchase anniversary, you would do an updated market analysis for them and have a conversation with them and present that to them? Is that a good idea or a terrible idea? What do you guys think? Now, once you do that, then you realize, oh my gosh, I'm pretty good at this. By the way, I actually know things that are actually valuable to the general public. So then wouldn't we want to then start extending that to pretty much everybody in our community? What's the answer? Yeah, and so right now, which when we get to digital marketing, right, the reason why I'm like, why would you do some stupid social media post to entertain people? Why don't you extend an offer that says, hey guys, if you ever wanted to learn more about the unique value of your exact property, and if you wanted to follow the value of that asset, would you guys give me a call or send me an email or click this link down below because I'd love to set you up on that. How many of those do we have right now, you guys? Just if I just jumped onto your Facebook and I just wrote it for you and I hit post, how many people would probably say, hey, yeah, that sounds good, set me up. What's that all about? How do I get more conversations with homeowners? How about talk to them about the value of their home? Is that kind of interesting? What do you guys think? It's kind of strange, isn't it, that we don't do that? Okay, let's go to the next.
You know what I heard last week at the EXP conference? There was a speaker, and I know everybody at Zillow, and I didn't hear this until last week when I was in Cabo. They said, you know why so many people go to Zillow? So many, you think that Zillow's just for buyers, right? No, Zillow is for sellers. Zillow has an opportunity and a fabulous platform to do what? They can go on and try to figure out what their home is worth, right? So who wants your past clients to go to Zillow to go find out what their home is worth? Anyone want to raise their hand? Or who all of you want to go to them and say, look, Zillow's numbers are Zestimates. I'll give you the real number.
Yeah, the goal in this conversation, so I did the research. You can do research with how many people search a term, right? And so of the term Zillow Zestimate, there's 120,000 people every single month type those two terms into Google every single month. 120,000, right? So you guys, do we want your friends, your past clients, your community, your neighborhood to come to you for that information, or do you want them to go to Zillow for that information? And then, yes, when I deal with your guys' weird negativity that you actually haven't figured out that what you have is significantly more valuable, more interesting, and a better resource than Zillow, I don't want to have to deal with that with you. You need to get that dealt with immediately. Because if you can't figure that out, we've got a whole nother problem to deal with. Yes, everybody? Everyone turn to the person next to you and say, step it up. Step it up, baby. Okay. All right. You guys are going to see, I'm going to skip the rest of this basics. I just want to get you guys in the right headspace so that I can get to the advanced stuff, because this is just some fundamental stuff. But on that document, I'm just looking at the document right here and I'm like, oh, okay, that's right. I should cover that. But on here with your past clients, should we get everybody on our past clients set up on some type of follow the unique value of their home plan? The answer is yes. Okay. Should we be doing some version of 4 to 6 events with our past clients in our community to extend a simple opportunity to create some fun and some engagement other than talk to about real estate? What's the answer? Yeah, one of the most successful agents in Utah basically built the event strategy, and I don't even know if he's retired or what, but Mr. Rex, right? So Jimmy Rex just built that strategy, and I went, oh, that whole event thing seems to work really well. I should do that, and then I should figure out how to do that for me in my way with my community. We all should be doing that. Next is let me just hit this for just a second because this is one of my hottest topics right now, is this thing, it's called, I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of this tool. It's called email. Have you guys ever heard of this thing? It's called email, right? And then there's this concept called the email newsletter. Now, I'm not sure. See, what's weird is when I talk to a lot of realtors and I say, tell me about your email newsletter, all I hear is 2 phrases: drip campaign, which drives me absolutely up the wall, and then the other one is top of mind. I tell my coaching clients, you are not allowed to use those 2 words ever again in my presence. Does any of you want to be on a drip campaign? Does anyone want to be on a drip campaign? Does anyone just want stupid stuff that's irrelevant to me being sent into your inbox so that that person can stay top of mind with you? Do any of you guys want me to send you top of mind emails? Then why do we do that? You guys follow me? This makes absolutely no sense. Now, when I'm going to give you guys a list of 6 books that you all are going to have to read when we get to the advanced level, but I promise you, it's weird. When I said to my clients just recently, I said, hey, have you sent an email to your past clients, your center of influence, those old leads, those cold leads, your database? Have you sent an email and extended this offer that says, hey, by the way, I would be happy to create a custom market report for your unique property. And I would love to share that with you and then introduce you to the ways that I'm helping my clients follow the unique value of their home. Would you like me to do that for you? Just hit reply and I'd love to set you up on that. Should we just send an email to our database to get that done? What do you guys think? Yeah, what do oh, right? Now, there's this thing called the housing market. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of it, because most of you guys use the term market, update. Did you guys, bless you, did you guys know that the term market update is an irrelevant term? I didn't know this, because all of the coaches and trainers have been telling you guys to do market updates. And then when I went to my Google research tool and I said, how many people are interested in a market update? And the answer was 0. And I went, that's weird. And then I went, but what is it? And then I switched a term and it was housing market. And then when I went to Google research and I said, how many people type in to Google every month housing market? And what do you think happened? It was like 500,000. So should you guys do more market updates? I should do a market update. Okay. Or should you be someone who updates your community, your past client center of influence about what's happening with the housing market and if there's anything that they should be paying attention to that would positively or negatively influence their equity, positively or negatively influence their opportunities to grow wealth with real estate? Should we do some type of housing market and then share that with our community via this thing called email newsletter? What do you guys think? Yeah, good idea. Right? Did you guys want more referrals more opportunities and more recommendations and more reviews? What's the answer? Yeah, so how about we kind of step up our game there? You guys follow me? Then on the list, what else do I have here? I don't even know. This list is just way too long. Oh. Home service Rolodex. Okay, there's a whole strategy. So when you guys go into the document, you're going to see that there's another link to another thing. And then I have another video on this topic. I'm not going to cover it now. But how many of you guys, if you're a good real estate agent, right? I started sending a lot of business to a lot of other businesses in the marketplace. And I started making them a lot of money. I was like, wow, I'm making you guys a lot of money. And you're not really doing anything back for me in terms of referrals. And then one of my amazing coaches said something, Rod, you'll like this, David, I've already told you this. He said, there's a script with all of your vendors, and the script is, I know you know a lot of real estate agents. Therefore, all I ask for is just one this year. How many of the people that you have sent 4, 5, 6 pieces of business this year that you should just go say, hey, by the way, I know you know a lot of real estate agents. Therefore, may I count on you for just one recommendation referral this year? Right? Yes, everybody? And then should we turn that into an entire business for our past client center of influence and become a resource not only to our past clients and our center of influence, then become an insane referral partner for these guys, and then have them become insane referral partners back to us? What do you guys think? Or you guys can cold call. It's fine. It's totally fine with me. I'll show you how to cold call. I'm really good at it.
Yeah.
But
an added thing
I
in
kind of
that
like
script,
recommendations.
Added thing in that script is, Rob, you're my mortgage, you're my whatever your vendor is. you know what? I'm your best unpaid salesperson, and I want to give as much business as I can to you. But what I need from you in return is I say 1 a quarter.
Okay.
But the thing is, okay.
That's why he does 300 million.
Yeah.
Right.
But
just because I was just thinking 1 a year, it's fine.
I need to think big,
I
man.
know, God.
Yeah, but
gotta up my game here.
You have to understand. They have their hand out. I work with Bert. Bert, how many times have I asked you, who do you know that's interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate? Yeah. Not once a quarter. He hears a lot more.
Every other day.
It can be your title people. It can be your home warranty. There's a whole slew of those. Do not let that go away because they're the ones that know everybody. You know what the other thing is? So you go to a title person. How many agents do you think a title person knows? Like hundreds? And let's say 100. And how many of those people call them on a regular basis asking for business? Me. Are you? If you're doing that, raise your hand. Okay? If you're not, who's going to do that in the next week? Raise your hand. All right.
Yeah. I personally don't torture some of those services. I torture the painter that I've recommended 6 times and made them at least $70,000. I tortured the contractor, my pool contractor who I spent $125,000 with when I did a cash out refi at the bottom of the interest rate market, and which I also told all my friends to do the same thing. And I got a lot of thank yous, by the way, and I did put that in my email newsletter, and people are appreciative of me. But the pool contractor I've now referred to 2 other times, who's now, that total amount of income is about $250,000. The landscape designer that I used, not only on 2 of my houses, but I also torture him with that as well, because I've referred him, not only used him twice for me, but I've also referred him now 10 times. So you guys, home services, home service Rolodex. Do you guys know what a Rolodex is? My Gen Z, he doesn't know what a Rolodex is. He's like, what the hell is that? Right? My millennials are even like, Rolodex? It's a new term. Rolodex? Yeah, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, Google it. You might know what it is.
Anyways,
maybe. It's so old that Google might not even know about it.
Good, okay. On there, by the way, on number 7, it says, I don't know about you guys, but I love real estate investing. I think buying homes and building wealth with real estate's a pretty awesome opportunity. And so I don't know about you guys, but on number 7, I'd be willing to have at least 1 time a year a consultation with all my past clients, center of influence, and to let them know, hey, by the way, I would love to have that conversation with you. Would you like to do that this year? And talk to them about that. Have you guys extended that offer to any of your clients? Because I think that's a fun conversation. I like building wealth with real estate. Right? So that's something I would do. And then of course, we all need to build our Google business profile. I don't need to spend a lot of time on that. But if you have not generated a client yet from Google business profile, then you're not done. Because a lot of my clients are generating anywhere between 5 to 10 clients, new clients from their Google business profile. Are they spending money on it? No. Did they hire some stupid virtual assistant service to do stupid stuff with their Google business profile? No. They just learned it. Did you guys learn Facebook? Did you guys learn Instagram? Some of my Gen Zs, did you guys learn TikTok? Yeah, you learned it. So should you guys go learn your Google business profile? What's the answer? Yes. And do we need to get all of our profiles organized there so that when anyone searches anything, by the way, did you guys know that 7,600 people every single month type into Google, best real estate agent near me? And what profile service shows up when the 7,600 people type that into Google every single month? Do you think Google recommends the Google business profile for that? What do you think? The answer is yes. Oh my gosh. Did you know? I just want to introduce you guys. You guys have a new best friend, by the way, and you didn't know it. And the new best friend is Google. Have you guys ever heard of this thing? And then Google also owns the other thing that I'm going to highly recommend, which is called YouTube. So when we talk about YouTube at the advanced level, all of you guys that have been wasting all of your lives and getting less intelligent, your IQs have been going down because you've been spending so much time on social media platforms and not making any money, and your brains are going numb. We're going to move that energy over to an area that's owned by Google so that Google can start recommending your videos to the perfect customer. Oh, for free. For free? Yes, that's crazy. And oh, by the way, you know that video that you did, that market update video you did on Instagram and or Facebook and or TikTok, and it lasted, about 24 hours? Well, the interview that I did with David Lawson, I think a year ago, just got another 240 views in the last 28 days. A year ago? The video I did 3 years ago just got another 400 new views. New views? Well, how did that happen? I don't even know. Well, how did Google recommend it? I don't even know. I don't care. But a video I did 3 years ago is still getting new views. How is Google determining who to show that video to? I have no idea, but that's pretty awesome. Now, when was the last time that Facebook shared one of your videos to someone that you didn't know on purpose, and it was 6 months later? I don't know, it doesn't really happen, does it? So can we all move to an area where we can get rewarded when we spend time? How many of you guys like to get rewarded for all your effort online? I'd like that a lot. So by the way, I wrote a goal. This was like 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I wrote a goal, and it was stop wasting time on stupid marketing projects that don't create clients. That was my goal. And most of that was all of the online stuff. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm wasting too much of my energy, my creativity, my time. And if I look at the results, I'm not seeing it. So today's advice is about how did I figure it out 3 years ago to go from, there was only one result I was getting 3 years ago from my efforts online, and that was agent referrals. And if you guys haven't figured out agent referrals yet, that's a huge mistake, because that's pretty much all of those celebrity real estate agents, influencers. They don't do a lot of business from their community in the local market. They do a boatload with agent referrals, and they love entertaining you guys, wasting your time on social media, and then they get agent referrals. And it's awesome for them, not you, because you haven't figured out that actually agent referrals is pretty much mostly the game on social media until I share with you guys how to make money in a minute. But that's the foundation, because when I looked, over 5 years, I had 60 to 70 clients every single year, and I would go down the list of every single transaction of all of my 60 clients, and I'd go, where is the Facebook client? Where is the Instagram client? Where is that? And they're like, but I'm top of mind. Well, how many referrals and recommendations and how much repeat and new business you get from your sphere? Not very much. Well, then why did you do all that time? I was talking to some, I got hired by another mortgage company in LA. I was in Calabasas. I was hoping the Kardashians were going to come by. Didn't happen, but I thought it would have been pretty cool. Anyways, I was talking to these guys, and they're like, oh man, I'm posting all the time. And I was like, hey, by the way, it's kind of weird, right? This is weird advice. Hey, you should do something at least 5 times a day. 5 times a day, right? Because if you were to like really get good at TikTok, you'd have to post 4 times a day. And then, Gary Vee was like, you should be posting, multiple times on Facebook and stories and Instagram, 2 to 3 times, LinkedIn, 2 to 3. I'm like, dude, that's like 7, 8, 10 things that I'm supposed to do in one day. Now, could you imagine a business consultant who says to you, you need to do at least 2 hours of all of these activities every single day and not hold it accountable to a client within the end of the week or the end of the month? That's kind of weird, isn't it? Do you guys get it? Like, if I'm going to commit all that time and effort, I should be able to every single week, every single month, be able to say that effort with that much time created this many clients, shouldn't I? Now, I'm going to solve that riddle for you guys because I just did and it's amazing. But I just want you guys to understand that is an interesting, we got to be careful. Okay, let's keep going. I haven't even gotten very far. This is so lame. All right, let's move on to the next topic, okay? On the list, I wrote down that everybody should have some version of a geographic farm. Now, how many of you guys actually have some version of a geographic farm right now? Anyone? Okay, yeah. And just so you know, this is normal. I thought that this was the stupidest thing in the history of stupid, as my dad would always say, right? Because I am the son of Mike Ferry, and that's just what we do. And then I went over to Tom Ferry's coaching, and he was like, geographic farming. And I was like, well, that's really weird. And then it was all about direct mail. And I was like, direct mail? Oh man, it's kind of expensive, isn't it? And then I was like, wait a minute. Direct mail to a geographic territory, that's really expensive. It's kind of stupid. Now I get it. And then I started meeting people who actually had huge market shares of their geographic farm territories. And I was like, that's really interesting. How are you doing that? And then I had a coach who was one of the best geographic farmers in the industry, and she actually opened my eyes to what the real reality is. It's not about your direct mail. And I went, oh, this is so interesting. Tell me more about that. And she says, my perfect real estate day, you guys will like this. It took me a while because I couldn't quite figure it out. But she says, my perfect real estate day is this. I go on 2 listing appointments. After my last listing appointment, I'm at home in my pajamas on the couch with a glass of wine within 15 minutes of my last appointment. Now, that didn't make sense to me until the next day. I was driving home in traffic for an hour from a listing appointment. And then it made sense to me. Oh, you mean have a life? Sell more houses near my house equals have a better life. I like that. And then, wait a minute. If I sell more houses near my house, then technically, aren't I an actual true expert? Because I kind of know everything about the community and the neighborhood because I live there. And then I was like, oh, so I'm probably more attractive to a buyer and or a seller. This is good. I like this. I would like to drive my electric skateboard to a listing appointment. That would be awesome, right? And you know, the listings that we've been taking inside of then once you figure that out, then it's not just one little 500 home, then it's how do we expand this thing? And really where you want to get to is somewhere around 5,000, or if you're like David, it's Park City, right? And we all want to figure out how to get from your little, 250 home neighborhood all the way to the entire zip code. You guys follow me? That's the goal. Now, is geographic farming only about getting listings? The answer is no. And this is the trick, because why would I leave 50% of the income on the table? And then all of my top listing agents, I only want to be a top listing agent. Okay. So you don't like commission checks? Do you have like an allergic reaction to a commission check from a buyer? Like you don't want that one. So just give me all of your buyer commission checks. No worries. Well, I know, but I have no control over the buyers. Well, we should probably work on that. Yes. Do you guys? Well, they're not loyal. Well, we should probably work on that. Because why would they not be loyal? Why would they not be committed to you? Well, they take forever. Well, why do they take forever? Well, I don't know. Well, we should probably figure that out. And then once you figure out how to help them not take forever, and then how they will actually be like, oh my God, I totally want to work with you, please. and you say, cool, this is how we work together, it's actually pretty easy. And oh, by the way, when they want to buy in your neighborhood or your city, is that a terrible buyer to work with? What do you guys think? And oh, by the way, there's this thing, when you study real big businesses, they call it the cost of acquisition of a client, and then they talk about the lifetime value of a client. Lifetime value of a client. So if I put a buyer into my neighborhood community, do you think I'll probably get more referrals and opportunities and recommendations? What do you guys think? Yep. And then when they decide to sell, do I make even more money? What's the answer? And so all of your sellers who leave your marketplace, what is the lifetime value of that seller? So I was dealing with this really very, very successful coaching client, and I was talking to her about her past clients and center of influence. She said, I have none. I'm like, okay. Very Mike Ferry style coaching client, by the way, for my Mike Ferry friends, right? You know, she was very aggressive with me, and it was great, right? You know, she's very drawn, Patrick, that's fine, let's talk about this, right? I'm like, what do you mean you have no past clients? How do you get no referrals? She's like, well, I've always been a listing agent. I'm like, okay, tell me more about that. Like, what do you mean? It doesn't even make sense to me, right? Because every single time she's got to go generate the next client because she gets no business from her past client center of influence. And I'm like, well, this is so weird. You're like an amazing real estate agent. You're brilliant. You've been doing this for 20 years. How do you not have lots and lots of business from your community, your past clients, your center? Because I've been just selling the homes and they've all left. And I went, oh, interesting. So then I get, new listing agent coaching clients all the time. And I'm like, yeah, we got to fix this for you. I'd like to help you make more money per client that you spend all of your effort getting. Are you guys okay with that? Right? Getting, kind of maxing out the value per client. It's pretty hard to get a client, isn't it, you guys? It's kind of hard. It's a pain in the butt. So we might as well get the maximum value out of it. And so, well, where's the maximum value? Whoops. It just happens to be the thing that none of you guys want, which is another what? I don't want another buyer, Patrick. No, you don't want another stupid buyer that's not loyal, that doesn't respect you, doesn't trust you, that wants to buy in a marketplace that you don't serve. Yeah, you don't want any of those, do you guys, right? But you want someone who totally respects you, likes you, trusts you, and wants to buy in a geographic territory that you're actually really good at. And if you're really good at it, then it's really easy also to go talk to 4 more sellers and actually try and put a deal together and make even more money. One of my great coaching clients, I did this in a video, but it's just really funny. He had 2 buyers and he was highly committed, right? One was a nurse and one was a friend, and he's like, I gotta go do this. So I torture him all the time. So he finally does it. He gets the I have a buyer letter, right? And which, by the way, the single greatest strategy in the history of real estate is the I have a buyer campaign. How many of you guys have created a client year to date from the I have a buyer campaign? Right. Everybody, turn to the person next to you and say, do you have a buyer? Yeah, do the I have a buyer campaign immediately. Anyways, this was the brilliant. So he had one nurse that she wanted to live by the hospital. So he goes and creates the I have a buyer letter, right? What's on the letter? Just the stuff. I have this amazing lady and she's a nurse and she wants to buy the hospital, and I'm a real estate agent and I'd love to talk to you about it. What's on the letter? That, right? Is it any fancier than that? No. Is there any salesiness? No. Is it just the honest truth? Yes. Do that. The truth works. It's kind of weird in marketing. I didn't even realize this. You can tell the truth and it actually works. This is incredible, right? Anyways, so he goes, door knocks, finds a seller. And the guy goes, yeah, I'm interested in selling. And then now this is in Toronto. In Toronto, the average commission rate is 4%. The average is 4% in Toronto. It's weird. Now, their transactions are like stupid simple. So you just like put the deal together and it's like, it just is guaranteed to go and you don't do anything. So yeah, make a little less. But like transactions are easy. Like we get a transaction together and we get gray hairs, right, you guys? Right? It's just different, okay? Anyways, so the guy says, well, how much are you going to charge me? And he says, I'm going to charge you 6%. And the guy goes, absolutely not. And he goes, look, I have the buyer. We will come to an agreement on price. We will come to agreement on your terms. You don't have to have the open house. You don't have to be on the MLS. No photos. This will be the easiest transaction in the history of easy, 6%. And the guy goes, okay. Then he does it again that same weekend for another client. He got 3 sellers, put 3 deals together at 6% for $3 million in volume. How much money did he make in that weekend? A lot. That was kind of cool. Do you guys? So could we please up our game with the buyers that you guys have and then actually go create lots and lots of income by going and helping them get the next property, and then, by the way, meeting 4 more sellers along the way and getting another listing appointment from one service? Is that kind of fun? What do you guys think? It's like we all forget this, by the way, and I do too, right? But if you watch that video on my YouTube channel, I have every 6 step. It's all outlined for you. Just watch the 6 steps. But the problem, let me give you guys, there's a big problem I've been dealing with all my coaching clients. Now, I don't know about you guys, but do you guys happen to forget things at all ever? Do you guys ever forget anything? I tend to forget stuff all the time now. I'm like getting old, right? This is kind of wild, right? So would you guys please, if there's one thing that I recommend that you guys do, especially if you're going to torture yourself by hanging out with me or doing any of my content, right? Because I'm a nightmare to deal with. You have to have what I refer to as a memory jogger. A memory jogger. Strategies that you've all been taught, you've all used and made money, but you completely forget about them all the time because we have lives, families, hobbies, and we're stressed out about our clients. We forget all of the awesome things that we have access to. I'm getting all my clients to create a up in visual. It needs to be up in visual. One of my clients like, I created this really cool spreadsheet. I'm like, you're never gonna look at it ever again, right? It's not even, I don't even know why you did that. And then 30 days later, she's like, I forgot to look at the spreadsheet. I'm like, of course you did. Up in visual, okay? So when the permission script, whoops, I just sold another client. I forgot the permission script. Why did you forget? The memory jogger. Whoops, I had this buyer and they wrote an offer. It didn't get accepted. And so now I'm drinking tequila. And I'm going to sit on my hands and wait for the next listing agent to list the property that I'll then go try and fight to get my offer accepted. Whoops, I forgot the memory jogger, the 6 steps. Do you guys follow me? Please give yourself the luxury of that. All right, let's keep moving. Okay, all right, and where are we at? I don't even know where we're at. All right, so let's talk a little bit just real quickly. There's one other thing that I would like for my advanced players. How many of you guys feel comfortable doing some type of housing market video? How many of you guys, housing market video? Okay, you guys comfortable? I'm trying to get all my clients to get more comfortable doing this. I did a video on my YouTube channel. There's a 4-step framework for doing this. Okay, the 4-step framework is address the hot topic in the media. Silicon Valley Bank. I was just driving up. Oh, Silicon Valley Bank. The bank collapse, right? Hot topic, by the way. And when you guys learn YouTube, there's this thing called trend jacking. So when I told my coaching client to do a video with Silicon Valley Bank in the title 2 days after the big announcement, how many views did he get on his video? Like way more than he ever would normally. That's called trend jacking. So when you guys do your next housing market video, could you guys please just let your past clients, your center of influence, your community know that you actually do know about the thing that they're freaking out about? Do you guys follow me? You know that thing in the media? And then they're going, wait a minute, is that going to have a positive or negative influence on our local market? Now, if you guys go through a list of 10 stats, I'm going to scratch my eyeballs out, and so are your past clients in Sphere. Because does anyone want to look at another stat? What's the answer? No, but are you guys following a trend? Is there a trend in the housing market that you're following and keeping an eye on because you're watching it to see if it's going to have any positive or negative influence on homeowners' values or buyers' purchasing power and or anything that would negatively freak people out at the local level? That's called your housing market video. And then below that is, Do you guys have any advice for home buyers with this headline, with this trend that you're following? Is there any interesting advice or extended offer to home buyers to talk to you more? You guys have that? And then over here on the sell side, because they're two different conversations, aren't they? Yes, everybody? So, hey, buyers, here's what we should be talking about. Hey, sellers, here's what we should be talking about. And then, now, the final step in all housing market videos is what I refer to as the cliffhanger, right? The cliffhanger. Is that the one video that you're going to just say, this is the housing market video for the entire year? Because if you do that, that's called your market prediction video that everybody should be doing at the beginning of the year. Market prediction videos are really valuable, and you'll get a massive boost in your view count if you do it. So your market prediction video should be there. But as you're kind of covering the housing market throughout the year, it's a cliffhanger. Hey guys, check in with me next month as I'm watching this thing in the media, watching these trends in the local market, watching how this is influencing buyers and sellers, and my advice, and let's connect next month, and I'll give you the next update to make sure that we're all on the same page together. Yes, 4-step housing market video. And then, oh, by the way, there's this thing called email. Not sure if you guys ever heard of it. You just send an email out, and it's really nice, right? Okay, let's keep going. Now, oh, my housing market people, could you guys do me a huge favor, right? Rod, you'll like this. David, you'll love this. Okay, there's this thing called YouTube, and it's weird. A lot of people are on it, and it's strange. Well, it's funny, and I will tell you guys, I was not on YouTube until like 2020. And when I first heard some agent was generating, his name's Ken Posick, and he did this interview on Lab Coat Agents, and he said, I'm getting a lead a day from my YouTube channel. And I was like, what? And I was like, I don't even go on YouTube. And I was like, what is that? And then I looked into it, and I was like, oh my gosh, YouTube is amazing. And by the way, is everybody watching YouTube on their TV at home these days? Or at least your kids are? It's kind of strange, isn't it? And then, I don't know, now I'm like obsessed. I watch YouTube videos all the time, meaning like intelligent commentary on the world, not stupid stuff, right? Like I don't watch cat videos. I watch the latest economic updates from the smartest people on the planet, and they give that to me for free? That is amazing. Do you guys follow me? It is by far the greatest educational resource that exists on the planet at the moment. And oh, by the way, Google does own that, right? Now, does Google have its own problems? Yes, but let's not get into it, right? Because we don't have enough time in the day to solve any of those problems, okay? Anyways, so my friends, you can go into your Google Council, and this is very strange. For my top listing agents, my Mike Ferry listing agents, there's this thing. You go into Google, and you can select. There's only one platform where you can select a neighborhood, a city name, or a geographic territory name and a zip code. And that's in your Google Advertising Council. You can do that. And, oh, by the way, you can select homeowners. You can select homeowners? Yes. Oh, by the way, there's another button that says moving soon. You can select that? Yes. Oh my gosh. Then you could also select purchasing a home soon. You can also select a renter. That's kind of cool. But I could select all of those things in my Google Advertising Council? Yes. And then you can select your YouTube video. And you can say, hey Google, put this YouTube video in front of those people. And guess what the average cost is per view? This is so interesting. Average cost per view, 3 cents. So I selected Park City. I selected homeowners. I selected renters. And then I said, put this David Lawson housing market update video. And I said, could you please put that what's called in stream, right? And it's a skippable in stream. You guys see that where you can hit skip? And oh, by the way, if they hit skip, guess what? You didn't even pay. What? And so when you look at your thing, it says, You got 3,000 people who watched 5 to 10 seconds of your video and you didn't pay for it. That's pretty good. And then the people that did watch it means that they watched more than 15 seconds of you talking about the housing market in your local market. And it cost you 3 cents for that. And on average, when I get my clients to do this, on average, they watch 2 minutes of you talking about the housing market for 3 cents? I don't know, that's pretty good. You guys follow me? What's 3 cents times 100 bucks? 3,000? Is that right? I'm not a math guy. So how many of you guys would be willing to spend 100 bucks to get 3,000 people to watch up to a minute of you talking about the housing market, and you selected homeowners in a geographic territory? Is that kind of a good advertising strategy? I don't know. You guys figure that out. Have some fun with that, okay? Anyways, advanced strategy. Let's keep going. All right. How much time do we got, David? I just...
15 minutes.
Thank you. Yeah, you got to give me a...
17, actually.
Cool. All right, so let's move over to questions. Anything from you guys? There's one more topic that I want to cover with you guys, but I want any questions because I know that I'm highly annoying. Yes, everybody? Highly annoying? Absolutely annoying, right? I annoy the crap out of all my coaching clients. I annoy myself, by the way, so it's fine, right? So it's totally okay, right? Again, like did I follow through with my promise? I'm not motivational. I'm not going to hold you accountable, and I'm not going to try and get you motivated, or I'm not going to deal with your personal problems, right? Did I tell you that? I am a strategist, and that's all that I do. Do you guys clear about that? So, when you come to my YouTube channel and watch my videos for free, and you sign up for my email newsletter, which I do write it myself, and I only put good stuff, and I only do it every once in a while, only when I have something important to say, right? So when you guys do that, would you guys do that for me? That would help me out. And then when you go to my card and do the thing, just hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to make sure that I look like I know what I'm doing by getting more subscribers. Would you guys help me out with that, please? Yes, everybody? That's the only thing I ask, right? Now, is there any questions that you guys have about any of this nonsense that I've been talking about? Yes?
Could you give an example of a cliffhanger on YouTube?
Yeah, great. Yes, great. So the trend line, right? So, when we were dealing with, the interest rates doubled, right? In, June, May through whatever, April, May, June of 2022, interest rate doubled and everyone was freaking out. Were we going to see a massive crash? And by the way, trend jacking, if you did any video with the word crash in it, from that 6-month window, you got 1,000 views extra bonus, right? Which was kind of fun, right? But we were all freaking out. And what was the one trend that we all kind of needed to follow to know if whether or not the whole world was going to fall apart in real estate? What's the one trend? Inventory. Was inventory going to rise? That was the big trend, right? Because if inventory rose and buyer demand, of course, buyer demand was going to drop. When you have a doubling in the interest rate, the cost of securing a loan, purchasing power pretty much just went out the window. The incentive of every homeowner to sell their asset for 50% higher than they bought it 6 months ago, take that 50% equity, and they got a 3% loan, and then take that a couple $100,000 and buy another one for at a 2.5%. Wow, that was kind of fun. Do you guys follow me? I had a great time with that personally, right? And I helped a lot of my friends with that. But anyways, when we took that away, the big concern was naturally buyer demand would come down, which is kind of the purpose of reducing inflation, right? Consumer behavior to calm down, relax, right? But the big concern was inventory going to rise? And oh, by the way, what happened? Inventory did what, everybody? It went even lower. Oh, that was depressing, right? So I would have been like, hey guys, we really need to watch it. The crash is gonna come, the world's gonna come to an end, the interest rates have gone up, the world's falling apart. The big trend that I'm following as a real estate agent is the inventory going to rise. That is going to determine whether or not prices fall off a cliff or whether or not they stay stabilized. So let's take a look at this again next month. Let's follow this again next month. Let's follow this again next month. Because all of you guys in the media, on their stupid YouTube channels, on their stupid Instagram stories, and on their stupid Facebook, the world is falling apart, right? And so all of your past client center of influence are wondering, is the asset that they bought, is it going to lose value? And the only trend that we needed to follow was inventory, right? So that's that cliffhanger. Hey guys, let's make sure I'm following this. Meet me next month. Let's talk about it, okay? Let's go. All right, so thank you. Any other questions? That was a good one. I love the cliffhanger. All right, I'm going to spend, you guys, I would really love to talk about this term that's kind of a weird term in real estate because I never heard about it. But strangely enough, lots of the billion dollar companies, they're all actually executing it. And I realized all of us good agents don't even know what it is and how it works. And I was like, and then there's actually lots, and all of the main companies are making billions and billions and billions of dollars on this one strategy. And none of us even, then when I talk to people about it, I was like, do you know what this is? And they're like, well, I heard that's really stupid. Why would we do that? And I'm like, that is kind of strange, isn't it? Right? Would you guys like to know what the term is? Okay. The term is called SEO, search engine optimization. And I was like, what is this? I hate when I have to learn new things. I'm like, oh God, I gotta learn this new thing. What the heck is this, right? And then I started to kind of get into it and I was like, well, this is kind of cool. This is kind of weird. And then, when I was like, wow, look at that, 120,000 people go to Google and type in the word Zillow's estimate. Oh my gosh, I wonder, wait, does that tell me a little bit about the consumer behavior? What do you guys think? That's all that it did. It was like, oh my God, it's a consumer behavior. Wait, so I wonder if I did more content and made more offers to follow the unique value of their home with me, I wonder if the 120,000 people might find me. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? You guys follow me? And I was like, oh my God, this is so brilliant. Then I found the best resource for search engine optimization after I interviewed all of the people in the industry about it. I talked to everyone up and down the lane, right? I am a fairy. I can make those calls. Right? I call whoever and they answer the phone. It's kind of nice. And I go, what the hell is the deal with this? And there was tremendous amounts of stupid people offering really stupid stuff. And there was a small group of people who were making a fortune. And then all the big players don't even want you guys to know about it. Do you guys follow me? Is Zillow really happy that you guys don't have a website that ranks for your city at the top? Is Google happy about that? That you've actually submitted, like, Zillow, I can't compete with you, right? Because I don't understand SEO. So therefore, Zillow, you just take all of the buyer leads and then make $1 billion and sell those to a bunch of dipshits, not including David Lawson's awesome team, right? Do you guys follow me? And then do you think Realtor.com is super happy that you guys don't understand this as well? Do you think Trulia is really happy that you guys don't understand this well? Do you think Movado, which was just purchased by another company, and they're going to do a bunch of lead gen, and they're super happy that you guys don't understand this as well? But then when I was meeting with one of the top guys who no one even knows about, I didn't even know who the hell he was. And then I met him, and all of his clients, right, were literally generating hundreds of free leads every single month. All of his clients who they didn't want anyone to know. It's funny when I'm like, hey, can I interview you? And they're like, no. They actually don't want any of you guys to know. And I was like, this is amazing. But then the guy says, hey, Patrick, you should just look into YouTube SEO. I went, YouTube SEO? Darn it, what's that? Do you guys follow me? Now, my buddy Ken Posick, you can't, maybe if you guys are lucky, actually I have it there. In the document that I shared with you, there's a rabbit hole of things. Would you guys make a mental note, only if you want to learn how to use YouTube to make more than $1 million in commissions for free? Only if you want to learn how to do that, and it's actually stupid simple. I couldn't believe how easy it was once I wrapped my head around it. There's an interview that I did for my coaching clients only, and you'll see a link that says Ken Posick. And it'll probably be underneath the document that says inbound agents. There's this term that I really like called inbound. Do you guys know what the word inbound means? It's kind of like, you know, when we talk about make your phone ring, right? When people reach out to you. So how would you guys like this? So I started helping a bunch of my clients on this, and it's been really fun because they're making a couple $100,000 a year for free by just playing the game of YouTube SEO, and it's brilliant, right? And I go, wow, this is awesome, right? And by the way, here's what they say. The client reaches out to you and says, I have been watching 2, 3, 4, 5 of your videos on YouTube, and I'd love to talk to you about buying or selling. How many of you guys would like more of those? Right? So one of my friends, I was talking to a top expert in this topic, and I said, oh, you know, these are absolutely the best lead opportunities that exist in real estate. And he says, no, they're not. They're good, but the best is a recommendation from your past client. I said, you're right. But it's the second best. Now, how much does it cost you guys to do that? Nothing. Okay? So, my friends, now what does it mean when I talk about search engine optimization? I'm going to give you guys, can I give you guys the book list right now? And then I'll shut up, right? You guys want the book list? Yes or no? Cool, yeah, you know, you don't, again, I'm a dork, so I like this stuff. Okay, there's a really great book called They Ask, You Answer. They Ask, You Answer, and the guy's name is Marcus Sheridan. That is the foundation of this whole topic. Your clients ask a question, right? And then you answer it. And you do that online. And then Google goes, oh, you're answering the question that we get asked all the time. Let's take yours and let's recommend it to them. That's called SEO. Kind of easy, right? So should we answer all of the questions that all of our perfect customers have right now? What I've had to ask people to do is to tap into that and then learn how to present it. So the problem is I go, hey, what's your top 5 pieces of advice for someone who just is leaving California, right? California, i.e. communist state, right, where I live and I'll never leave. But lots of them have been leaving there, coming to where? Utah. Unbelievable, right? And so you get this opportunity. There's some buyer that you meet at your open house, some sign call for my top listing agents who don't work with buyers. You accidentally picked up the phone to your sign call, right, because you don't like buyers. And they say to you, hey, I'm leaving California. I'm moving here to Salt Lake City. Do you have any advice for me? Do you guys got any? Is there anything I should know? Right? Because I don't know, when I was like kind of coming over here, I was like, I should figure out the weather. You know, like, am I going to slip and fall? Like, well, how's this all going to work? How do I get around? There's all these questions people have, right? So have any of you guys answered those questions to your perfect customer? Now, for my top listing agent, you have a seller. This is my challenge to all my listing agents right now. Rod, hey, I'm going to sell my home, Rod, in the next 9 months, and I'm for sure going to use you, right? You don't need to sell me. I'm not going to do it tomorrow, so stop closing on me, right? Because he's going to close on me like 15,000 times as to why I should list my home today, right? And I'm going to say, no, dude, sorry, I'm not selling my house for 9 months, period. Now, Rod, now that we got that clear, do you have any advice for me? Do you guys have any advice? David, I know David has a lot of advice, right? Do you guys have advice for me? And where is it? Where can I find it? Is it discoverable? Does Google knows where it is? Because when you look on Google and you say how to prepare your house for sale, and Google says, oh, by the way, about 30,000 people every single month type that phrase into Google, and people are actually interested in learning more about that. Do you have any content that Google would say, oh my gosh, look at this. Someone in your neighborhood, because your Google business profile says you live here and work there, and Google basically goes, oh, someone right here in this area just asked this question, and we've got someone right here who just answered it on a YouTube video, on a blog post, because those are the only two things that Google gives a shit about, excuse my French, not your Facebook video, not your Instagram reel, sorry, not your TikTok. TikTok actually will find them, it's just kind of weird, right? So, but anyways, does Google, can they recommend that for you? It's kind of cool. Now, for my top listing agents, David Lawson, this is where I've been torturing David with this for a while. And I said, look, these are called time-saving videos also, okay? Do you guys want to save more time with your buyers? What's the answer? Yeah, so all the things that you say to them in the car on the way, why don't we record a video and just send that over to them in advance? That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? And then you don't have to answer it. So whenever I'm listening to an agent and they go on their spiel, wow, it's a really good spiel that you got, the spiel that you do, right? And they're like, yeah, I get asked this question all the time. They ask, you answer. A Revolutionary Marketing Technique by Marcus Sheridan. They ask you a question and you're like, oh, let me tell you my cool thing, because everybody thinks that this is awesome when I share it. That's your next video, please. You guys follow me? It's easy to do, okay? Next. Next book you guys all need to read is, let's go to YouTube. There's two books. One is called YouTube Secrets, and then the other one is called the YouTube Formula. One is simple, one is advanced. YouTube Secrets, that dude is really good. I forgot what his name is, but don't worry, there's only two books really on YouTube. Like if you go to Amazon, this is not complicated. The YouTube Formula book by Daryl Eves, that is advanced. If you want to learn how to make $1 million a year from your YouTube channel, right, then Daryl Eves is your guy. If you want to learn how to actually just get a video done and get it published and make some money or save yourself some time, the first book's pretty easy. Okay? Now, if any of you guys want to take your content education to the next level, how many of you guys would like to be seen as the most trusted real estate advisor in your marketplace? Would that be kind of cool? That people are like, damn, David is amazing. Not because he sold $1 billion worth of homes. Because when we advertise that we sold $1 billion, basically all of your friends and past clients are like, you're rich. That's it, right? Or you're too busy. Or you're too busy, okay? So content marketing and education, I want to introduce you guys to that world, right? So a couple of you guys will be excited about this. There's a book called Content Inc., 2nd edition. Content Inc., 2nd edition. So if some of you guys have a young person in your life that really wants to be an influencer and figure out how to make money, if some of you guys, you've been in the business for a long time and you're trying to figure out how to build and grow and create additional streams of income, if some of you guys like Rod, who is an expert in a lot of topics, wants to figure out how to be able to present his expertise powerfully and effectively to the world so the world discovers him and learns more about him, Content Inc., that's the formula, okay? Then there's a second book out called Epic Content Marketing. Epic Content Marketing, same author, 2nd edition, and I was listening to that this morning, which leads me to my last point, David, unless I need to shut up and we need to finish, right? Which the last point is, if we're, my dad instilled with me one very simple thing, know your what? My Mike Ferry friends, know your what? Know your numbers. Know your numbers. Then when I went over to Tom Ferry, and it was all this like, cool online marketing, hipster stuff going on, right? Then it was like, I got to do like 15,000 social media posts per minute, right? And I'm like, oh God, this is brittle. Why am I doing this again? Then I started to realize, wait a minute, know your numbers. So some of you guys have a Facebook audience. Some of you guys have an Instagram audience. Some of you guys have a LinkedIn audience. All of them are great. So know your numbers. What I'm working with all my clients on now is, okay, you've got these audiences. Some of you guys have an email list that's pretty long, right? Okay, so there's another audience. And I said, so A, how many of those people are going to take the next action step with you to turn them into a client? What's the first milestone if I'm a buyer? All my listing agents, you go on a listing appointment and you say to the sellers, you say, because David Lawson's listing presentation is pretty spectacular, right? He says, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, do you know where all buyers start their research? And where is it? They start at where? Online. Okay? Now, since I'm trying to take money out of David's pocket by getting all of your clients to go off of Zillow and onto your services, right? Sorry, David. Sorry about that, right? Okay. So, since I'm trying to get all of your clients.
Your time's up.
Yeah, exactly. My question to you guys, okay, is how many of those people on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, your email this month are going to start their search online with you? What is your goal? And when you look at your total number of people, there should be a goal, right? Well, I have 1,000 people on my email list. Well, how many of them are going to start searching homes now? You have 2,000 Facebook friends. How many of them are going to start searching their home this month with you? That's a goal. And then how many of them are going to do a buying consultation? Because step number 2 is you start and then you do a buying consultation. Correct, everybody? And then, so if I have 5,000 people here, I should be able to get at least this many people to start their search, and I should be able to get this many people to do a buying consultation, and I should be able to close this many homes. I should know my numbers, right, everybody? And it's just straight math. You've got Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, and you got your email list. You guys have thousands and thousands of people all sitting there, and we forgot that the first step is what? Start your home search with me. And oh, by the way, if I'm David, I'm also going to say, by the way, if you are, see, in California, what we have to do is we have to say, hey, if you're starting your home search in the next state, which is what we have to say, I would love to introduce you to a bunch of amazing, great agents in Utah, and I would be happy to interview 5 to find you the best one. So I make that offer to my database in California because I like what? Listings and referral checks. Gosh, that's nice, isn't it? How many of you guys like more money per client? See, when I talk to all of my listing agents and I go, how many referrals did you get this year from the sellers that you sold who went and bought another house in another marketplace? I said, what's the percentage? And they're like, I don't know. And I said, right, because you're just a listing agent. You weren't really there at the beginning and helped them. And would all of you guys interview 5 agents, including me and my wife, for your next client who moves to San Diego and see if me and Carly are a good fit for your client? Would you guys be willing to do that for a 25% referral fee back? Now, if you ask me for 30 to 35%, I might balk a little bit. But people do it every day, don't they? Okay, good. Next, on your last thing I'm going to say, on your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, your LinkedIn, your Snapchat for my youngsters, right? Snapchat plus your YouTube plus your email. How many this month are you going to get set up on some type of home value report that they can follow for the rest of the year? What is your goal for that this month on all of those channels? And then we know that in any audience, what's the turnover rate of any homeowner audience at this point? If I pick any geographic territory, any zip code, I take Salt Lake City, I take Park City, what is the actual turnover rate right now for homeowners? It's very low. It's going to be somewhere around 3%. So at 3% turnover, really low, that means 3% of all of those homeowners, 3 of them will sell their home this year, or 3% will for sure this year. So if I have 1,000 people following the unique value of my home for free on one of my free services in my inbox, what's 3% of 1,000? I wonder if you extended those people also the offer of your selling consultation on a regular basis. I wonder if you would get any of the 30 listings this year. And how much did that cost you? Was that really expensive? Oh my gosh, no, it wasn't. You guys follow me? Are we good?